what is actually a sound? Where does it come from? What does science say? What are the effects of the sound on human consciousness, and also not just consciousness, on the material energy? So can you tell us a little bit more about that, also from Vedic perspective, but also maybe from some scientific one?
Sound is such an imperative factor in society. By sound and sound only, do humans facilitate their exchanges in terms of social exchanges, economic exchanges, or whatever exchanges you can think about, is through sound. For instance, we're talking, and what is facilitating the communication is sound. Now, in the beginning, also, what facilitated the beginning of the creation was sound, because we have an entity we call Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma is the secondary creator of this universe. We have the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. But then, under him, just like we have a president of a country, they have ministers. And so, the secondary creator of this, our universe, okay, I say our universe in the sense that there are billions of universes.
Wow.
And our universe is one of the smallest universes. And our universe is manned by a personality called Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma, when he was created, there is a complex stuff there. So we don't want to confuse our viewers, but I'm just using the word. When he became manifest, he manifested on a lotus, on the wolf of a lotus. So he was wondering how he became manifest there. Because he was confused, and then he had a voice. He had a voice, tapa, austerity, sound. So that gave him an impetus to be able to perform some austerity. And then he was empowered with some ideas on how he came about. And that is how he was able to develop different strategies on how to populate this world. So sound was, is the pivot of material creation. In the Vedic knowledge, or Vedic system, also these days, these days in India, they coin another word, Indian knowledge system. But it means the same thing, not Vedic system. Scholars have developed different ways of addressing modern issues from their own perspectives. So whether you call it Indian knowledge system or the Vedic knowledge, it all begins with sound. So this sound transforms people, and sound also could be used in destructive ways. I'll give you an example. In the philosophical thesis of the Vedanta, the very first mantra is Atata Brahma Jigyasa. Now we are humans. Let's inquire about our origin. And so we have a concept of sound referred to as Omkara. Omkara is a sound manifestation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you may call him Krishna, Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, or whatever, but he can also be addressed in the form of sound. So God also is manifest in the form of sound. And that is technically referred to as Omkara. And sound is transformative. Sound also could be destructive. Because, for instance, people who are involved in transformative approaches to life, they use sound to be able to heal people. They use sound to elevate people's consciousness. And people who are diabolical, they use sound to destroy people.
Can you give us an example, maybe, to illustrate what we are talking about?
Yeah. For instance, people who are diabolical, they could chant some type of mantras to inflict some pain on somebody or to project a negative energy on somebody. These are very common.
Yeah, some kind of black magic or...
Exactly, exactly. So that also, in most cases, people use sound. Now, sound also, there's a concept in metaphysics we call psychokinesis. You can use some type of sound vibrations to move objects that are far away from you. So you see how sound is so powerful. That this very sound principle is what actually makes everything click in this universe. And so we can't do without sound. And there are so many research publications, not just qualitative research publications, because there are three methodologies in research. And one of them is quantitative. The quantitative methodology in research, those research results are generalizable. So you can say this experiment was done in Croatia and it's not applicable in America. No. And what I'm talking about, all of these researches that have been conducted on sound, on different type of mantras, on different sounds, specifically, I know the one that have to deal with the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, they're so profound that, see, in research, before you get published, your research results or your research work will be viewed or will be examined by peer reviewers, people who are other scientists. They will examine it and see how you got your results. Now, a lot of the researches, especially with this mantra meditation or the Maha Mantra, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, they have come up with results. Of course, these things have been embedded in the Vedic literature since time immemorial. But you know what? These days, this is an era of science. And so if you want to talk to somebody, to convince somebody about the potency of sound, you have to prove it.
Yeah.
And so the scientists, they come up with all of this research, and one of them, I know vividly, it was published in the last quarter of 2023, and that was on how the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is a transcendental sound vibration, spiritual sound vibration. And this mantra was used in the experiment. The results show that by chanting this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one acquires some type of side effects. But don't worry.
Okay.
The side effects are good ones.
Okay.
And one of those
good to know.
one of those good side effects is that it mitigates insomnia. Insomnia is a very troubling mental illness. You can't sleep. You find difficulty in sleeping. So these scientists, they came up with reports that, from their research, that the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one of the side effects is that it facilitates good sleep. In other words, it mitigates insomnia. There are many, many scientific results. I conducted the research in 2021 and had it presented on the same Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which is a transcendental sound vibration. And sometimes, people think that, people are not aware that this process of chanting is a scientific process. So I conducted the research on this same mantra in 2021. I had it presented at the World Academy of Science, Engineering and Technology in London on June 28th. Now, the research, not only was it so appealing to the professors who are scientists themselves, the presentation received the Best Presentation Award. And it was published in the International Journal of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering.
Wow.
Yeah. I can send you a copy of that.
Yeah.
So we see how the purportedly spiritual mantras that people don't know, we just think they are religious stuff, they are spiritual stuff. But no, they are of scientific orientation. And that work, that publication is there on the web. And I can send it to you if you want.
Yes.
There are many other scientific publications on the value of science in creating a positive change in society. I give you an example. in 1990, there was one scholar who conducted his PhD dissertation on how the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra helps to mitigate anxiety and depression.
That's hot topic in today's society.
It's there. You could Google it on the web. Our viewers could Google on the web. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and depression. There are multiple research conducted on this very hard topic, and it shows the positive effect of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra on depression, stress, anxiety. So there's so many research that have been conducted, and therefore normally when I talk, I like to make a reference in terms of science, because otherwise sometimes people think that, oh, this is dogmatic, they just preach and all this type of stuff. No, I don't preach. I talk science. So yeah, I go deep into the roots of the Vedic culture, but I'm able to also correlate that with modern science and technology. So that you don't say, well, you believe it, I don't believe it. No, science means what? There is an activity, there is observation, there are results, and there is a conclusion. It's valid. So whether you believe it or not, no, it's valid.
Yeah, it's working. Yeah.
So yeah, mantra basically comes from two words in Sanskrit. Man means mind. Tra means to free. Mantra simply implies a process of freeing the mind from sound vibration. Again, sound. Translated to sound vibration. So when we chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, there are so many things that we benefit from now, just by this chanting. Yes, the ultimate goal is Krishna Prema Pumato Mahan, to attain pure love for God. We call God Krishna. But all of these side effects are there, and people who want to, for instance, mitigate their anger, they should be involved in mantra meditation. People who want to mitigate their anxieties, their stress levels, their depressive feelings, whatever. See, the mantra has been proven to be very useful in mitigating mental health challenges. That is a plus for this spiritual culture.